we go. Let's shrink it down. Let me switch this over. This is a new game. This one just came out too. Feline forensics. Okay, new game. Street lamps are already on, and I haven't been in my office yet. You should check my computer. I'm sure I have at least a few emails waiting by now. Although, if it's the commissioner volunteering me for more debriefs, I'll have to put my paw down. I just need to log in. Huh? Won't take my password. Something here has my whiskers twitching. This might turn into a regular investigation. I'll start tracking all of my leads on the bulletin board in case I need to reference them again. Okay. Hmm. This bulletin board. Okay. The unknown password. For some reason, my computer isn't accepting my password. If I changed it, I would certainly have written it down on my note and put it in my desk. A drawer in your desk? The desk. Not in the top drawer. Surely it will be in the bottom drawer. Aha, this must be it. Wait, no, it's just a standard department business card. Following procedure requires I enter it into evidence, but unfortunately this might be more serious than it seems. Okay, for some reason, all I found on my desk was an old business card, but I'm not sure how helpful this is going to be. Guess I could give it a second glance. It's a business card printed on quality paper. Okay. Is it not written on the back or anything wild? The phone. Okay, let's. Oh, but it doesn't let me. Doesn't let me look on the back. I don't like how the zoom is weird. Can I change that? It's still weird. Wait. No. There's no other options. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. There we go. Hold on. It said emergencies only. How do I call? Oh, now you got it. Okay. Oh, of course. I knew there was something else here. Why didn't I think to flip it over? That business card sooner. The extension written here belongs to the department manager. Luckily, I would classify this as an emergency. I should give them a call immediately and let them know what's going on. Phone. My computer password explicitly changed. I hate to break this news to you, detective, but if I do recall, this is the second time this week you've interrupted my wife's delicious home-cooked meal. I'm sorry. From what I would gather, you were on another milk-fueled bender. Through slurred speech, you told me you changed your own password, and this is the part where I'm so embarrassed you tell me the password correct. I would consider, but you also informed me that you hid it somewhere that only a detective of your caliber would be able to find. So get on with it and ensure that not a single report on this matter is out of place tomorrow. Let me reiterate while you're in the right of mind. Do not call me again unless it's a real emergency. Click. Think it's just forgot my password. This wouldn't be as humiliating. Either way, not my proudest moment, but I could make up for that even if I am technically this crime's primary suspect. Retracing my steps, following the proper timeline, and correcting any inconsistencies in the case notes will be paramount. Okay, anything here? No. Can I look in other places now? The detective. Issue. Without the current password, he can't unlock the computer. The detective left his office late last night, and at some point after the department network was hacked, the next day the detective attempted to log into his office computer, but found that the password had been changed. And we're missing these. Okay. Okay. Department manager did confirm that nothing was hacked. Embarrassingly, just a bit too much indulgence on my part. That being said, I've only got a rough outline from here. They won't settle for anything less than perfection. Perfection. It's time to thoroughly investigate the rest of my office and use my journal to fill in every blank necessary. Did you know you can rotate the camera? Yep, figure that out. Or if you need to look around quicker, you can use the zoomies. Zoomies! Oh yeah, Zoomies is Fiesta. Okay. Can I move in peace? This shelf is absolutely packed with different tomes, journals, studies, and occasional novelizations. If I had some sort of clue in these books, it would take me far longer to find it than it's worth. I wouldn't put it past myself, but I don't have anything to go on yet. Is there something over here to investigate? Filing cabinets. These are usually just for keeping contracts, reference documents, and various policy paperwork. I can't imagine I would have slid a note with the password into this mess of a drawer. Even under a strong influence of dairy, I wouldn't have done something so reckless. Is there something over here to investigate? When you need to dig up the truth, you've got to act like an alley cat. Empty milk carton, comically clean fish bones, used yarn ball. None of this looks very helpful. Wait a minute. There's a crumpled receipt. It looks like I've redacted most of it. Nothing about the actual purchase remains, and the only store's address is left visible. Where could this lead me? Is there something over here to investigate? Nope. Let's see what we can find over here. Cat Tower. One might ask themselves, why would any self-respecting feline investigator keep one of these demanding furniture pieces in their professional office? It was a gift from some old coworkers who thought they were being exceptionally humorous. Also, it keeps my claws properly managed. Sometimes it helps me think. Let me see what we can find over here. Few things in cabinets, true tech out of my previous cases. Oh, of course it's not unlocked. Those records are pretty confidential. Wait, I don't lock these. Not since I kept misplacing the key. I'm certain this is significant. I might have put my password in here, or at the very least, another clue. Let's see what we can find over here. That's it. It's possible I hid the password with the potting soil. However, until I have a compelling reason to believe that, I'm not willing to make a mess on the hardwood floor. Anything else over here? No. Philadelphia? Okay. But I don't remember all these thumbtacks in it. They're each holding a thin shred of paper to various addresses in the city, but no one seems more important than another. They crumpled the receipt, didn't have an address on it, though. What was it again? Oh, we didn't figure that out. Okay, let me. So I need to go here. The detective left his office late last night. After returning, the detective changed his computer's login info. Before it was lost, the memory of the lactose stupor. Having successfully laid his plot and proud of his mastermind scheme, the detective called the department manager before finally retiring for the evening. The next day, the detective attempted to log in and couldn't. Oh, 13 North 2nd Street. Okay. Time to make another call. Book Gator on second. What can I do for you? Of course, the local bookstore. How could I forget? Sir, did you need help with something? Hello, yes, sorry, I do actually. This might be an odd question, but I have purchased. I have a receipt and I'm not sure what it was that I purchased. I've been expecting your call, detective. Ooh, sigh. Of course you were. Care to explain why you stumbled in disgruntled after an argument with this devious plan? I didn't ask questions, but you warned me this call was likely. Oh dear. Now about that book. Please tell me it's not something terribly inappropriate. Ha, not quite. No, the book's title is On the Historical Development of Cat Burglary. Okay, thank you. That'll be all. Sure you don't need anything else, detective? No, no. Really, it's okay. Thank you. Click. Oh, I guess if I wasn't embarrassed enough as it is. Okay, what now? Oh, unbeknownst to the detective changed the password to his computer and blanket inside a blank. Furthermore, he blanked the blank to the blank inside a blank that the blank recently blanked. Change the password to his computer and blank it inside a blank. Hit it, probably. Hit it inside a blank. Furthermore, he blanked, so he forgot it. He forgot the password to the computer inside a blank. Oh, that's probably hid. Okay, can we do something here? Okay, the bookshelf. The book in question has something to do with cat burglary. Dignity and Domestication by the Great Dane Austen. Les Miserables. Mouserall by Vernon Hugo. Call of the Wild by Jack London. Okay, more novels that I thought. But hey, these are the classics. Oh, here's the one I'm looking for. The question now is why would I have purchased this book specifically? Is there something over here to investigate? Um, let's look at the book. On the historical development of cat burglary. What? Don't open. Can we open it? What's on the back of the book? Hey. Okay, don't open. Can we open it though? Aha! Great job, detective. Found a key. Bought a hollow trick book. No wonder the bookstore clerk was holding back a laugh. with my cabinet key hidden inside, no less. I think we're nearing the end of this case. Good thing the trains will still be running for a little longer. Okay, so here. No, here. Unbeknownst to the detective changed the password to his computer and hid it inside I don't know. Furthermore, he forgot the password to the computer. Let's see. Book and key. Hid it inside a book. That's not right. Closed sections look like this. You have two or fewer incorrect. Oh, okay. Um, so let's just start putting that one. Wrong sections look like this. More than two are incorrect. Okay. Unbeknownst to the detective changed the password to his computer and blanket inside a blank. So this is what we don't know yet. I wonder if it is a plant. Okay, let's leave that. Furthermore, he hid the key. Oh, into his I bet it's his filing cabinet that's missing and hid it inside a filing cabinet. Furthermore, he hid the key to the filing cabinet inside a book that the detective recently purchased. Okay, so we're looking for one more word, and I bet it's going to be in here. Filing cabinet. There doesn't seem to be any cipher or code either. This just looks like a normal password. I should try it and then make sure all my notes are in order. I wouldn't want to attract any more ire from the department manager than I already have. Let's see what we can find over here. Okay. No cabinet. Okay, let's look at it. Once well hidden reminder of my new password. In the pursuit of providing, I could out detective myself. Okay. What should I look at? The computer. It works. I'm logged in and I have exactly 0 emails that require my attention. Perfect. If it's a relief, of course, but the department manager will have my fur if I don't get the rest of these case notes in order before I go home. Let's see. What should I have a look at? That's it. Hmm. Key to the password, maybe? No, but we found it. No. Yeah, we've done everything. Hid it inside a desk. I don't think that's right. And it wouldn't be a office. Hid it inside a key, password, computer, plant, phone. It's none of this. It's none of this. But it's not giving me. Furthermore, he hid the key inside a book that the detective recently purchased. That doesn't help me. Now that I have everything straight, I should make sure my records are right. But it didn't give me the option. Furthermore, he hid the key to the. It's a filing cabinet. It needs to be the filing cabinet. It's not giving me the option. Why? Hmm. Oh, maybe I need to do this. Aha! Forgot about this one. After returning to the office, the detective changed his computer's login information. Um, Before it was lost to the memory of the lactose super. cabinet. There we go. Okay, so if I'm missing words, I need to remember that I can look in there. Okay, unbeknownst to the detective changed the password to his computer and hid it inside a cabinet. Locked it. Kaboom. Who done it? You done it. Me done it. I sure did done it. Manager's calling already. Commissioner. Ooh. A Vulpix! Yeah, you're about to fall off because you're rolling. You can't be rolling out of my lap. Business, not pleasure. There's been an incident. Oh no. I'm sending a cruiser. The officer will fill you in on the way. Okay. The case seems pretty involved, but it's still within my jurisdiction. Oh, I need to stretch. You will go by the book, detective. I'm sure you're aware that if you don't, your license will be on the line again. What a ray of sunshine the commissioner is these days. Sigh, it's gotta be an even later night than I thought. Great. Can I take a break now? Nope, you're falling back asleep already. You gonna keep falling asleep? Okay. Guess I'm playing another round before I get up. Yay, I caught a Vulpix! Okay, evening officer, what are we looking at this time? Oh, detective, no need to be formal, although we're headed to a pretty fancy museum, so maybe I spoke too soon. Honk! The one on the east side of town? What happened? Sounds like an attempted heist gone sideways. Nobody was able to flee the scene, but an important exhibit has gone missing. Not sure if it was one of the thieves, another visitor, or a staff member, but they said somebody might have been shot in the process. Oh dear, let's hope things have been kept under control since they made it seem like the scenario was contained, but you'll have to make that call yourself. I don't know much more than that, but we'll be there soon. Here we are. You told you it wouldn't take long. Always a pleasure. Wish me luck. I'm feeling this is going to be a long night. Good luck, detective. Good luck. Oh, I'm sure everything will go just fine. And I know you like to work alone, but if you need some help from the department, just give us a call on the payphone. We'll see if that's necessary. See if that's necessary. The Kreinberg Museum. Honk the Herald Angel by an unknown artist. A wonderful and timeless depiction of Mother Goose's agents of peace. That said, the biblically accurate sculptures are more compelling. There's nothing to see over there, right? Okay. Let's go inside. Ah, detective, thank goodness you finally arrived. I'm the curator of this museum and the one that called the police. Thank you for coming on such short notice. For crime, there's no such thing as short notice, and a detective must always be prepared to put a stop to it. Yes, well, please work with the utmost efficiency. A catastrophe of this scale could be a disaster. If word got out that the most precious gemstone was stolen, who knows what would happen? Not only would the museum's reputation be forever marred, we could be the target of an even more horrid criminal. You're understandably concerned, but I assure you I'll sort this out. This is far from my first case. Although, if my debrief was, oh, sorry, I didn't finish reading that one. Ah, yes, that punk. I just hate to even think about it. I suppose you should take care of that as well. But in my opinion, the sooner we get the innocent people home, the better. A rush investigation leads to sloppy work, so I can't promise that it'll be quick or easy. It's the curator. Regardless, I trust you will do your best, and if you could keep me posted on your progress, it would be greatly appreciated. Of course, I have several things to discuss if we could. What were you doing before? During operating hours, I don't do much except greet visitors, and today was no exception. On days when we're particularly busy, I may mingle and let the guards stand station, but that wasn't the case today. Up until the argument began upstairs, nothing seemed out of place. The guard and I were here having an idle chat. Unfortunately, that it couldn't stay that way. Could I ask a few more questions? Then I would expect nothing less. Who are you? Oh. Hmm. Family issues? Certainly could be, depending on how it continues to unfold. Fine, I do have a family, and I'm currently separated from them over personal matters. And I can assure you they have nothing to do with stolen gemstone or the murder. What? Unless you'd like to interrogate them unnecessarily as well. As always, I appreciate the cooperation. The cooperation. Coop. I would expect nothing less. What do you do? I manage the museum staff, exhibitions, publicity, funding, and well, just about everything. Wouldn't it be easier to delegate some of this work? Well, you see, we simply don't have the extra revenue to accommodate that. While incredibly valuable to the human condition, a museum of this caliber is hardly ever profitable. Oh, my apologies if this is a sore subject. I simply do not enjoy the idea that one would look at what we do here and assume it's all that easy. Okay. Interesting. I would expect nothing less. Okay, about the museum. Are you waking up? Currently, we're standing in the museum's foyer, which was has only exterior doorway. In the east wing, we have a sculpture gallery featuring contemporary works. On the west side is where we display works of natural history with geological and pre-civilization origins. The central connecting exhibit is the courtyard just to the north of us now. Furthermore, we have antiquities, hosts several artifacts and art pieces spanning global cultures and eras. On the second floor, there's only one unique gallery, fine art, typically canvas. Of course, as you investigate, you'll notice there are balconies that look down into a few of the first floor exhibits as well. Hope that's helpful, Detective, but you can always reference the brochure map you have if you get lost somehow. Very helpful, thank you. Do you mind if I ask a couple more questions before I go? I would expect nothing less. What happened during? The guard and I heard an argument beginning upstairs, but it wasn't an immediate concern to me. I didn't want him to make a scene, but it continued to heat up on its own. Then we heard the gunshot moments later, even with the accompanied sound of broken glass. My instinct was to make sure the guide was safe. I thought she was in the sculpture gallery, but the guard found her in antiquities. Stunned, he called for me, and I ran over. It was true, she was frozen solid, startled by the cacophonous noise. Cacophonous noise? Cacophonous. Cacophonous. The guard was concerned of course, but took off toward the blaring alarm. Despite the chaos of it all, I maintained my focus on her. Eventually I got through, and do you know the first thing she said to me, Detective? Call the police immediately, looking out for the museum, so selfless to a fault. I went back to the foyer to do just that, but the tourists and the artists were there. I begged that I release the lockdown. I didn't know who was responsible for this mess, so I brushed them off without much opposition and made the call. I see. Let's move on to another topic then. I would expect nothing less. So we finished the questions. Okay, we're done with his questions then. What are you doing to my controller? What are you doing to my controller, babies? Okay. It doesn't look like there's much else in here other than the placards or ingotsony. You're gonna fall off the chair. Calf and Pearl Earring by Johann Meerkat. Going to assume the sheaf is some sort of shrubbery, at the very least, a leafy plant of some kind. Gray on blue. Okay. Let's talk to the bear. The guard bear. Hey, hold it right there. Did you pay admission when you came in? Ha. Got you good, didn't I? Little security joke and all. Always good to meet another agent of Lady Justice, detective. What can I do for you? I'm hoping you can assist in my investigating. Oh, absolutely. Anything you need at the drop of a hat. Just by answering a few questions for now, I need to be clear that even as a museum guard, you aren't exonerated here. Of course. I wouldn't have had it any other way. Not only am I loyal to the law, I'm loyal to this museum and the wrongs against it to be righted. Let's start with a few questions, if you wouldn't mind. 10-4, good buddy. Who are you? Not much to brag about in that department. Well, what do you do in your free time? I like to keep up with various TV shows and movies, but don't we all? I don't. I'm really bad at keeping up with TV shows. But don't we all? That's not very interesting. I read a whole bunch too. I read a whole bunch. Talk about laughs heartedly. I don't think that's boring, honestly. I wish I had time for more of that kind of thing. I'm about to have room for time for that kind of thing because I'm on summer break. I used to say the same thing, believe it or not, but if you don't make time to enjoy things, there won't be much of you left. Just a couple whiskers and a suit. I mean, let's stay on topic. Do you have any family friends? Couple buddies from back in the day, but started to feel like we were worlds apart, you know? Wife at home, but no kids. She has some great friends, longtime friends, and they call me friend. I'm all right with that. Yes, ma'am. Who do you think it is? Bless you, bless you. Who do you think it is? Did you just come up here to drink, to eat more of my blanket? Let's continue. Yes, absolutely. I'm an open book and full of pictures. 10-4, good buddy. What do you do? I keep the peace with these marble walls. A much more manageable scale than I'm sure you deal with, detective. On the regular, sure, but for tonight, we have that in common. Ha, you got that right. As far as my day to day is concerned, we don't really get much commotion around here. Was there a time when disturbances were more typical? No, I guess not, but we had more people around overall, you know. You see, yeah, if all else fails, maybe this whole debacle will get the museum some attention again. That'd be really be something, huh? I suppose anything's possible. Why don't we discuss something else? Absolutely. I'm an open book and full of pictures. Okay. What did you do before? Was a policeman for a while, but not as long as we expected at the time. You certainly don't look like you've reached retirement age. Laughs heartedly. Young for retirement, sure, but not that young. Most folks stay in the field for a long time. Wasn't for me though. Grew up with police dramas and was big enough to deal with bullies. To deal to bullies, but the concept of bullies is a bit more difficult when you're an adult. Nail on the head, detective. Don't get me wrong. There were times when it was very clear, just not always. Even instances that were clear in the beginning became murky down the road, or in retrospect, eventually parting ways with the force seemed like the best decision. I came to that conclusion sometime later. By that, you mean it wasn't entirely your choice? Highly encouraged choice, perhaps. Tale that isn't too uncommon, I think. Could we discuss something else? Absolutely. I'm an open book full of pictures, his favorite saying. You got the green to go ahead.
Like,
Oh,
oh, she missed me. See, she's here.
it's my cat. Did you get McDonald's? Might take a walk around the exhibits to get some fresh air, but I was feeling a bit more lazy today. I don't want you thinking I neglected my duties. Thing is, nothing seemed weird. It was totally normal morning, afternoon. I understand, so none of the guests acted strangely. We get all the walks of life and do my best not to judge one way or the other. Nah, not so much. All things considered, this feels like poor circumstance to me. I see. Interesting. Why don't we discuss some more then? Absolutely. I'm an open book full of pictures. You got the greens. Go ahead. What happens? Can you get me a glass of wine? She thinks it's food time now because you came home. Shattered glass soon after. I didn't skip a beat. Some habits die hard, I guess. Well, I got antiquities and found the guide. Stopped in her tracks. Maybe I should have kept moving, but I had to make sure she was okay. It's admirable at the very least. I'm sure she appreciated it. You're probably right, but ha, I wasn't actually much help. Nothing I could say had her come to. I called for the curator since there was still the matter of whatever went down in natural history, but I got there at about the same time as the podcaster, but he knew just as much as I did, and that wasn't much. The displaced case was already destroyed, so to save the diamond and the victim, I was too slow again. If there's anything left to do, I'll call the police. Thankfully, the curator was already on the line. Things had mostly calmed down by then. I appreciate the thorough recollection. Let's move on to something else. That's the end. Additional details. Okay, standing by for inquiry, detective, about the alarm. Well, yeah, see, the amazing thing is that it's real smart. It can tell who's who and do what it's got to do real accurate, too. Nail on the head detective, when it was installed, they told us it was a little slow. It doesn't make mistakes because for a computer, it takes its time. Although for a person like you or me, that's still pretty dang fast. It just has to, I don't know, double check, I guess. It has a way of being selective, only locking down what's necessary and trying to minimize panic in a situation. Come to think, it's actually the sound of the alarm was supposed to be one of the more severe stages of lockdown. The old guy who used to work on it could tell you more, but we've never seen it in action before today. Maybe try asking the curator. I think I will, but until then, I have a few other things to discuss. Absolutely. His favorite line again. Okay. Now that my cat has left my lap, I'm going to take my break that I wanted to take before starting this game. And I'm going to make something to eat, I guess, since my husband didn't bring me McDonald's. And then be right back. Oh, so this is okay. This is a lot, actually. Okay, this is going to be a lot. We know nothing about the murdered guest. Nothing. We don't really know anything. Okay, so let's just meet all the suspects. We'll start there. So let's start to the left here. And the dinosaurs. I don't. Where was the crime at? Oh, was it right here? Several dotted blood splatters across the floor, along with a few pieces that appears to be stone debris. Other artwork looks unaffected. Is it a monkey or a sheep? Victim presents male, likely mid-20s in age, 4 facial piercings, wearing a leather jacket. Initial signs show 2 impact wounds to the back of the head, all things considered minimal blood loss. And, nothing on his person. No wallet, keys, not even an ID. Poor guy. I'll figure out what happened here. Don't worry. This is the pedestal where the stolen gemstone was once displayed. Doesn't look like there's any other incriminating details, though. Never that easy. That would be meal number 3 today, so. It's because she had just woke up. Raccoon, the podcaster. Hiya, detective. I just want to say. Oh, and I absolutely cannot wait to tell you all about my show. Would you be willing to do an interview? Your show? Gasped sharply. I'm a true crime podcaster. It's called The Tales of Darkness and Desperate, and this episode is about to go hella viral. Wait. Are you recording right now? No, I didn't bring my equipment. Ugh, what an absolute rookie mistake. Like 5 listeners and episode level amateur. By the way, you should seriously subscribe. You have your phone on you, right? Just let me look up myself and hit the button real quick. No big deal. Actually, don't keep my mobile phone on me. Personal technology would be a distraction at the crime scene. Oof, that is actually so sad. Okay, we have things to discuss. Let's stay on topic. Like, whatever you need, detective. I'm afraid to ask what he does. I told you about my podcast. Are you saying you didn't go and read my bio? If you're not a big reader, watch my daily vlog. That'll give you a general vibe. Well, it was gonna be daily, then it was weekly, but now I just post kind of whatever. The last one is pretty old, so it'll be out of date. But apologies, but I'm going to watch your not going to watch your vlog. So please, if you could provide a brief answer to the question, that would be appreciated. Dude, at least you could do is submit your questions to my Word vlog. You can do it anonymously. A word vlog is just a normal vlog. Actually, never mind. I've learned plenty. Let's change topics. Tales of the Dark and Desperate, so make sure you totally obliterate the subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. You have. I was asking more about what you do in a professional sense. Are you trying to say that what I do isn't professional enough? Ha, gotcha. Oof, too easy, detective. I work at a coffee shop, but that's like so boring. Punch in, punch out. You know how it is. But after that, this episode absolutely pops off. I'm gonna quit so fast, or at least like quiet quit. I still need my health insurance or whatever. Of course, why don't we talk about something else now? Like whatever you need, for sure. What were you doing? I was actually mostly just wandering around, but when I got to the courtyard, I saw the tourist had this dope retro camera. We were just kind of going back and forth on old school photography techniques, stuff like that. That was huge in Finstagram a couple years ago. Then we got interrupted by that argument. He handed me the camera while he tried to break it up from down here, but they weren't interested in listening. I assume you gave the camera back to him at some point? Yeah, for sure, but not right away because things really started to get out of control. Oh, in that case, I've got a couple more questions for you. Like whatever you need, detective. Oh my gosh, I remember it so vividly. If only I was recording, my audience really likes the authentic audio. That gunshot would get me so many upvotes. Blammo! That's when things really popped off. Couldn't really see much up there though. Seemed like he fell from the balcony. He was so dead. And what of the diamond? It was already gone. I explained that to the guard. Hey, babies! When he came in, then I guess he went off to go search for his someplace else. Go potty on your litter box, please. I figured with the alarm going off, I wouldn't be able to leave anyway, so I just sat tight and waited in here. Okay, I think I have some follow-up questions, like whatever you need, detective. About the victim. You mentioned he had already fallen from the balcony above. Did you do any closer examination than that? Why do you ask? Thing is, he didn't have anything on him, not even a wallet, no ID. Doesn't seem strange to you? I gathered them for you ahead of time so you wouldn't miss anything. Is that so? Tampering with the crime scene can be a serious offense, you know? Little raccoon!
Okay, Mom.
I'm not talking to the cat! She thinks you're weak. So I just like she probably wants the little treat on top. But she already had that today. I gave her that already. That's all it was, huh? Lying to an authority of the law is also quite an offense. Okay, okay. I took his stuff because it wouldn't be amazing promo material. You can't blame me for trying to fabricate a viral sensation, detective. And besides, what if he had been stabbed and I needed to stop the bleeding? That logic doesn't even. You know what? Yeah, I've got other things to discuss with you. Then I'll be on my way. Did we have other things? About the guard. He said you both entered the exhibit simultaneously, but this contradicts your testimony. Why the inconsistency? Came in, saw the diamond was gone, took a quick look over the body, and the guard came running after. I think that the guard and the hen, rooster. I think it's them. Definitely think it's the rooster because he had a bad attitude. Okay, okay, fine. I'll ask some different questions, like whatever you need. Personal questions about true crime. I know a trick question when I hear one. Detective, of course I love crime. Crime solving. Crime solving. Do you have a background in criminology? Sounds like a question I can only answer behind the paywall. Did you know you can unlock great perks? That won't be necessary by the long paw of the law. Let's stay on topic. I'm pretty normal, and my life has been pretty easy. There's people out there that have definitely not had it easy. Think about everyone around them. That's different. It's just easy to think that this wouldn't happen to me unless it does. True crime lets you realize, reflect on unrealistic situations that are very real. That's actually quite insightful. Insightful. If you want to know more, make sure you wickedly whack that follow. Yes, that. There's another question I have for you. Like, whatever you need, detective. I think that was it. Yeah, that was it. I've asked all my questions. Amethyst geode sustainably sourced from Central Europe. Okay, let's mess with these. Oh, that's gonna be. Maybe I should start with that. Um, yeah, you have a contradiction from the podcaster. I could give him the benefit of the doubt, but by the podcaster's count, this just doesn't line up. I can't think of an obvious reason he would lie, but it would be best if I asked him directly. But is there something I should be looking at on this? Why would he have paid twice? As far as I'm aware, he didn't come in with anyone, right? Since I can't question him directly, I'll have to ask around some more. Okay, earlier tonight, the blank and the blank with the blank who surprisingly had a blank. They blank and the blank, and eventually the blank from blank blank. Amidst the chaos, someone blank the blank from the blank blank. Led by the blank staff also included the loyal blank and the knowledgeable blank. Suspects and witnesses included the eccentric blank, the bitter blank, as well as the distinguished blank. They also included the anxious blank, the jolly blank, and the reserved blank. So who is the podcaster eccentric? Suspects and witnesses included the eccentric blank. The punk is dead. Amidst the chaos, someone blanked the punk. Secretary is bitter. No. The curator was bitter and annoying. Is the guard the distinguished guard? Earlier tonight, the blank. Okay. Let's keep going. Oh, woof! The old timer. Hello. Yes, hello. I know who you are. He doesn't like me because I'm a cat. Fantastic, then let's get started. Well, I'm waiting on you get started. Stand on these floors, killer. The bench just over there. I don't need a seat. You think I need some handout from you? Do you know who I am? I didn't mean to offend. I just look detective. Get the interrogation or whatever you have to do so I can get out of here. Fine, yes, a wonderful idea. Let's do just that. How much longer is this gonna take? Who are you? You really have to ask, huh? It tells me everything I know about you. Well, in this case, I am the one who needs to know, so why don't you answer the question? A retiree of the art world from back when folks respected the craft. I saw success beyond my wildest dreams. Point is, I was at the top. I wasn't making way for nobody. I think that's his voice. You had to be cutthroat back then. Don't even get me started all this crowdfunding. Sir, I don't think. Ugh, what reason did you step down from such a high pedestal? Couldn't keep up. Is that what you want to hear? My hands started going first, then, well, I quit while I was ahead. I see. Well, then let's change the topic. How much longer is this gonna take? What kind of question is that? Are you one of them half-rate gumshoes, detective? That's an offense. In my advanced age, I don't do much of anything. And with my advanced wealth, I don't have to. That's what it means to be retired. Not that you would know. I might do some consulting from time to time or attend an event, but all that chase and tail, that's the youngest for the young pups. After evening everything I've given to the art world, I keep on giving. What do you think about that, huh? Good for you. You wouldn't get it, so maybe I could start asking some questions with answers you can actually use. What a fantastic idea. Let's do just that. Well, how much longer is this gonna take? How much longer? About the museum. What about it? Despite a few amateur missteps, it's a respectable institution. And what would you consider a misstep? Don't get me started on how much modern garbage they had to display these days. I understand art can be entirely without business, but there are lines you just don't cross. And betraying the greats by hanging their most prestigious pieces next to these finger painters, that's across the line. Should you ever have any of your pieces on display here in the museum? Huh, that's a leading question, detective. Don't believe for a second I don't see what you're trying to do. If you must know, even at my peak, no, the curator refused to exhibit any of my works. I had plenty of other exhibitions, and we've always been on good terms. I don't hold it against them. So don't leave this conversation thinking I've got some sort of vendetta. That would, that would be a ridiculous notion, wouldn't it? Maybe I should ask a different question instead. I choking. Am I outspoken, detective? Are you answering my question with a question? The answer is no. I am resolute, firm in my opinions, because I know they are correct. Still have yet to see how this is. There I was with the critic. We were looking over the various pieces in the sculpture gallery. The critic wanted to discuss with the guide, so I let them be. Made my way upstairs to fine art. That's when I saw them. All these disgraceful misuses of canvas and the punk that follows soon after looking for a fight. He must have seen me wrinkle my nose at some painting, and well, he didn't know that the tree he was barking up. What tree was that? An old wizened willow, the detective. One that weeps for the way things used to be. Intriguing to say the least. I believe I have some more questions then. Oh, how much longer is this gonna take? Yeah, get on with it. Okay, what happened? Of course, I remember it like it was yesterday because it was today! Ha! Gotcha, didn't I, detective? In fact, it was about an hour ago. How could I forget that? I'm old, but I ain't that old. That punk wanted to yank my tail, but when I got barked back, he must have got scared, pulled a gun on me. Always knew I had some bite left, and we got into a real scuffle. Took us out on the courtyard balcony. He threw me into the wall, swung back at him. He missed, tried to take me out, but his aim was bad, missed by a mile. Must have been new to it, too. The kickback gave me a chance to disarm him, then he ran off. The critic came to check on me soon after. I told him I was fine, unscathed. In fact, the alarm went off, but I didn't have anything to do with that. Well, I'm glad you're all right. Let's discuss something else. How much longer? That's it. Okay, did we get... So he might be the distinguished one. Hello, it's Kiara. Welcome back. A gator. Oh, this is the critic. I say, what matter of drab fashion is approaching me? Oh, maybe the old timer's bitter and then this guy's distinguished. Oh no, he looks annoyed too. It's not a uniform, it's just one of my suits. Are you to imply these are actual clothes that you purchased with money willingly? I would appreciate if we could get to the questioning now, please. Okay, relax. I'm a bit of a critic, but I'll do my best to get on in your way. I'll literally take a few jabs at you though. Hello, babies. Why are you biting my ankle? You're scratching my foot. Even if it is entirely true, and this is what brought you to the museum today? Pieces I would love to call my own, but no, I'm not making any purchases. My accountant wouldn't like that very much. Exhibits aren't usually for sale. Spoken like a true member of the middle class. Everything is for sale when you have enough money. Am I to assume this applies to you? I've written for the most prestigious organizations. The scales have rubbed against the best of them. Okay. If you must, don't let me stop you. Do you have family? Traditional family? No, but I have someone close to me, if that's what you mean. Mm. Besides, when you become larger than yourself and people believe you're only how they sculpted you, there's a lot to lose if you betray their perception. If I'm to interpret your meaning, isn't the artistic industry quite progressive? For an artist at his easel, yes. For a writer at their typewriter, yes. But for any of them with a need to live, to eat, to succeed, they must be ruined by money. And the people with money, money far above even my station, they do not understand the meaning of progress. So no, I suppose I don't have much of a family. Most of us can't afford to. Sorry to hear that. Would you mind if I asked another question? If you must, don't let me stop you. About the museum. Why did you decide to visit today? Oh, the curator practically begs me to come and write about it in one of my columns. I visited before many years ago, and the article I wrote back then was unbelievable success. Although, considering the terrible fate before us, I don't know how any. You mean the murder turned museum heist? Is that it? Ha, no, detective. I'm talking about irrelevancy. Oh, worse yet. The curator has resorted to committing the cardinal sin, the display of counterfeit art. It's just painful. What do you mean? That would be quite the accusation. They're duplicates, simple as that. How else could one acquire such a diverse catalog? Quit biting me! In fact, I've already noticed, and well, somebody steal it. Oh, somebody murdered somebody, actually. It's more than just stealing. They killed the punk. And I can't even tell what I think it might be a monkey. I think they might have made the punk a monkey. And then they gave him, because he had a tail, but he kind of looked like a sheep too. I couldn't tell because he's laying flat on the ground. And then, and they noted that he had 4 piercings. I've already noticed 2. And well, when there's 2, there must be a 3rd. That's just proper writing. Right, well then, let's carry on. If you must, don't let me stop you. Today's events. Thank you. They're all for free. As you do in a museum, I was taking my jolly good time looking over the many exhibits alongside the old timer. When we made our way into the sculpture gallery, I decided to strike up a conversation with the guide. Still haven't seen the guide. Of course, I can't resist any expert. I need to read faster. The old timer has far less patience for that sort of gallivanting, so he took off upstairs. Perhaps I shouldn't have let him get off on his own. I don't know what it's like. I don't know what it was that they argued about, but it must have struck a nerve. I think that's when our evening started to go south. Is that so? I've got more questions then. Of course. What happens? No, I'll tell you who's guilty. It's 100% the rooster. It's got to be the rooster. The curator is the rooster, by the way. I think it's the curator. He seems a little annoyed with his job and a little not excited to call the police. Sounded like he was in the fine art gallery. I started moving that way, but when I was just about there, I heard a blunt slam. It opened the argument, didn't turn violent, but I was quickly losing faith in that theory. Before I knew it, there was that wretched bang, a gunshot, with glass shattering not long after. I was concerned for the well-being of Old Timer, so I continued outward towards the balcony after him, but then the crawl had continued. That's not the bathroom. I told you to go to the bathroom. I shuffled him back in the fine art gallery and tried to ignore the rest of the. There's that word again. I don't know what that word is. Cacophony below. It calmed down soon after, and now you're here. Yes, here I am. Why don't we continue that investigation? Is there another one? About the old timer. I've taken down both your testimonies, but there's a specific detail here that doesn't line up. The old timer claimed he came away from the brawl entirely unscathed. That's not accurate to your remarks. This might be the easiest explanation you received today. Do not climb that right now. You shouldn't even be climbing it when it's against the wall, but don't climb it when it's up behind me either. Are you familiar with fragile masculinity? We've known each other for a long, long time, and when I say he's improved, I mean it, but there are things that still get under his fur. Whether this helps or hinders your perception of his motives, I doubt he even second-guessed a lie like that. You speak as if you know him quite well, intimately, some would say. Oh, understood. I think I have some other inquiries to make before I move on. Do I? No, I don't. Okay, I'll show you the body real quick. Oh, yeah, let's zoomies. The body is right here. Yeah, I think he's a monkey. I think he's a monkey. They made the punk a monkey. Punky monkey. Okay, so I was going room to room. Guess we'll go to this one. What is this? Why is he flat? We're all flat. Look, here's me. I'm flat. Everybody's flat. Corinthian black spotted pottery. Greeks truly had a way of life. Very smelly. Zoomy. We probably can't have zoomies in the museum. Ah! A frog? Let me work in my notebook for a second. Okay, distinguished. I think this is supposed to be the critic. I think this is supposed to be the old timer. Do we have balcony? Because he falls from the balcony. I want a part where he dies. Someone blank the punk. Okay. Argue, destroy. There was an argument. They heard an argument. No, I thought the same thing because I was like, why is the body flat? But then I remembered I was flat too. Everything's flat. Okay, cause for alarm, maybe? Guess the museum did recall hearing an alarm, but I should continue to learn more. While discussing the stolen jewel with the guard, he mentioned the state of the art security system. I bet one of them shot the punk and the other stole the gem. Oh yeah, the old timer argued with the punk. Um, this one. Everything's good in here. Nothing. Okay, let's talk to this guy. The artist. The artist is a toad. I'm the detective tending to this case. I'm aware of this. You're from feline forensics. Yeah, I am. Good for you, familiar. You're familiar. You may ask me a few questions. That is. How did you know about me? Was the tie? I tried to go with something more neutral, professional, insightful, even. Maybe it's the suit, shoulders padded. Is it the suit? Too private eye? It was not the tie. Okay. Besides, I simply prefer to be aware. An artist must observe the world. Whatever it takes, detective. Okay. Who I am is not important. I am unimportant. In the grand scheme of things, as it pertains to the situation around us, those details will not bring you closer to case closed. Then why don't you humor me as if I were asking as a stranger, not the detective? I am washed up, a failure to creative amphibian. As soon as I had hands, my parents couldn't keep enough paper in the house. I'd hoard every marker and paint I could. Clay was my best friend. My imagination was insatiable. So I didn't have time for anyone or anything else. That doesn't sound like failure to me. Insatiable may beget experience, but it does not equate to talent. Is that a sufficient answer? Indeed. Hope you don't mind answering some other questions. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. I know I can make it through. I will provide answers. Since my art career became an artifact of the past, I found myself in several professions. Nowadays, I work under contract agency. They have me doing temporary work placements. Many placements are undesirable, unfortunately, but it pays the bills. I can keep a fair bit of time to myself. Is my husband streaming tonight? Hey, Matt, are you streaming tonight? Okay. Are you streaming tomorrow night? Okay, don't talk to me. No, ma'am. Why do you have? Is that a Sharpie? No, I think it's just a pen. I don't believe I could truly ever give it up, but the inspiration strikes less frequency. That's why I've decided to come to the museum today. And did you find something inspiring? Okay, so this is just one story. It's only one mystery. So this may or may not be a tonight finish. I feel like I could finish it. I've been playing for about an hour and a half. I believe I have, but time will tell. The paint must dry, as they say. They do say that, don't they? On to the next question then. Whatever it takes, detective. I am not warm-blooded, detective. Do you want me to be cold? Didn't say that. Besides, it takes the coat more unique. Makes it more unique. No one is the whole world has its coat but me. My apologies. I believe I've strayed from your inquiry. Don't worry about it. Not at all. Shall we discuss another topic? Whatever it takes, detective. My prior behavior has little impact on the case. I was just wandering around the various exhibits, observing. Specifically, I was counting the bones of hanging skeletons from the natural history exhibit's balcony. Then again, I did spend some time on the courtyard's balcony as well, mesmerized by the pendulum's colorful sway. Considering my proximity to the fine art gallery, I overheard the argument as it began, and I depart to the upper floor. I've got all that written down for now, so thank you. Allow me to answer another question. Whatever it takes, detective. Okay. What happened? Certainly, I'll begin with the argument. I was nearby and didn't want to get involved. By the time I made it to the lower courtyard, I heard the gunshot. Naturally, I attempted to make my way out of the museum entirely, but the guard came hastily through the room and bumped into me. I eventually got through, made my way to the foyer. Unfortunately, the door was already locked down. Imagine it was a result of the alarm being tripped. The museum was a sophisticated security system, it seemed, and there wasn't anyone else around. Initially, no. When the tourist arrived from behind me, I told him we were stuck. Even when the curator came back, they refused to open the door. The tourist passionately opposed their decision, but eventually stood down. We waited in our respective exhibits until you arrived. That should be it, right? About the guard. Don't you remember what I said before? Even with all this paint, people just don't see me. You did say that, huh? I suppose I didn't quite grasp the severity of it. I think I'll move on to some other inquiries for now. Whatever it takes, detective. Okay. So the guard bumped into the frog, the artist. Oh, where he assured the critic that he was perfectly unharmed. No, I don't either. I wanted to. Okay, let's look at it. I bet it's this one. I bet it's the broken statue. Okay. Um, oh wait, it's either the Okay, it's not that then. Then it's the critics, whatever it's called. The critics said I see that makes sense. There's no surprise that Oldtimer would want to keep up his manly image. But as well, for the critic told us, even the Oldtimer was a little shaken following from the punk. Okay, and then the artist. Okay. I'm telling you, it's the guard and the curator. Oh, he entered the museum alone. Oh, we know he didn't because he had the something else on the admission ticket. He did enter alone, but with one extra detail. He paid enough admission for two. Anyone would assume this is just an act of kindness, but can't we claim that for certain? So I bet someone doesn't have a receipt, and we can see who doesn't have a receipt because the punk paid for them. And they didn't want to have their name as someone who was here. They're trying to get away with it. They didn't want the evidence of them being here. Boy, am I glad you're here. Glad to be here, although not necessarily under these circumstances. Okay. Oh, that's quite a relief. I know a lot about being a guide, but I'm afraid I just don't hold up under pressure. Of course, I'll need to ask a lot of questions. I can't leave any stone unturned, but let me know if it becomes too much. This sounds like a great plan, Detective. Great, let's get into it if you're ready. Sure thing, Detective. Who are you? Interesting. How do you spend your free time? Nothing super exciting. I have a sweet tooth, so I bake a bunch. Enjoy a good period of some. Considering your line of work, you never pursued the arts? Gosh, no. I mean, I did try watercolor once or twice, but it was bad, bad, bad. I don't get me started on the charcoals and oil pastels. I've been sitting in my closet, a bit of an impulse. Obviously, I still study art a lot, but no, never really felt like making much. It's definitely not for everyone, including myself. Should we change the topic then? Sure thing, detective. Whatever you need. What do you do? I'm the current leader of the education and guest relations here at the museum. If the visitors have questions or they want a tour, I'm their buddy. Aside from that, I'm also the youngest member of the team, so I try to manage our marketing and outreach. Okay? And then nowadays, though, that's my least favorite part of the job. The internet can be a cruel place, but I don't envy you in the least. Folks make fair points, like our exhibits, but they don't really understand how many of it works. But lots of people might never be exposed to those other cultures if we didn't. I don't know. It's complicated. Most of the world is these days. Why don't we discuss another point? Sure thing, detective. I trust them and they appreciate me. I get to inspire people's passion. Can't ask for more than that, I suppose. I do want to ask some more questions, though, if that's okay. Sure thing, detective. Any particular reason for the change in topic? Maybe it was a distraction. We could overhear the old timer shouting upstairs, but eventually he went upstairs to go check on him anyways. I figured it would diffuse itself. They'd come back down, so I went into the antiquities, hoping I could escort them out for causing trouble. That didn't go as planned, unfortunately. I can see that. How about we discuss what happened next? Sure thing, detective. Okay, so now they're kind of sounds like she is um a part of it. I'll try my best. What happened? Honestly, it all felt very sudden. I don't even really remember what happened. After everything had sort of resolved or calmed down, the curator said something and shot a gun in the museum. That seems like a pretty difficult detail to miss within how loud it would be against all of these marble walls. Hmm. They were trying to get me to do my breathing exercises, and when I was responsive again, they left to call the police. But I kept thinking that if the curator hadn't prioritized me, maybe the diamond wouldn't have been stolen. Hmm. I guess you're right. Thanks, detective. Don't worry about it. Let's talk about something else. Sure thing, detective. Okay. Um, mouse. The students. Hello, greetings. I'm the detective from Feline Forensics. Well, don't let me get in your way. Oh, I'm actually here for you. I'm here to talk to you. Some simple questions, really. There's no need to be so nervous unless you have a reason to be nervous. I'm innocent, I swear. Oh no, I was just making a joke, trying to break the tension. I've been told I'm very dry, so please accept my apologies. It's okay, I accept. Thank you for questioning me, and please go about your duties. I'll stay out of your way. I appreciate that, thank you. If you have any. Wait, I haven't asked any questions yet. Fine, go ahead. I hate talking about myself. We really shouldn't. Who are you? Oh, you don't care about that, detective. I'm just a little mouse. Nothing special, and like I said, also super innocent. I'm sure you are. So you don't mind if I search your backpack, for instance? Why would you need to do that? I haven't stolen anything and put it in my backpack if that's what you think. I was just kidding again. Why did you come to the museum today? I'm here for a date, okay? And they stood me up. Is that what you want me to say? Don't you know how hard it is these days with the apps, the mixers, the socializing, and being attractive? Not to mention the texting, the flirting, and leaving the house. So don't get me started on having to go outside. It's dreadful, detective. It's terrible. Ow! The only silver lining is that you can find places like this. Stop! That are free. Stop! To get stood up. Imagine having to pay for that type of embarrassment. Wait, actually, never mind. My apologies. I'm sure there's another topic we can discuss instead. Okay, Detective, you used to say so. I hate talking about myself. Another ad break? Dang. The ads are just flying right now. A weasel? It's gonna keep growing and growing. Line go up. Couldn't ask for more fantastic working conditions, too. It's incredibly accessible, historically inclusive, diversity off the charts. I don't. Stability? Look no further. Problematic behavior and business practice? Not here. Literally nothing to complain about. Not a thing at all. Actually, why don't we talk about something else? He keeps changing the subject. Course, totally. Well, I got the natural history exhibit after a bit and started admiring all the artwork there. I could overhear what sounded like an argument. I didn't give it much thought, minding my own business, but it started to get more intense. It didn't take long to realize it had escalated further than it should have. Everything spun out of control from there. Okay, detective, you say so. Couldn't tell what it was about, but I heard the argument upstairs was beginning to get physical. Bad things just kind of happen randomly nowadays. Better to not take any chances, you know? Place went into total lockdown. I was scared. I felt cornered, trapped. I did the only thing I could think of. Almost knocked over one of the sculptures in my haste. Thankfully, it wasn't too long until everything seemed under control again. As in control as it could be, I suppose. Let's change the topic, all right? Okay. Okay. In Pursuit of Wings by an unknown artist. Huh. Okay, there's too many doors. That's the exit. Let's go through this one. This might be the courtyard. There's a pig. Little Sims pig. Little Sims swinging thing. What is this? Something perched between the branches. It's cold and feels like metal. There's only one open end and a little piece of tubing. No, it's an empty bullet casing. Yes. Helpful. Okay, let's go through these before we start. What are you doing? Open the door. Okay. X. The that must be the tourist we're about to talk to. We talked to everybody else? Okay. Critic. We just talked to the student. No? Okay. What was it? It's not any evidence we have. Yeah, let me read it again. Nope. Began to discussing various pieces in the sculpture exhibit with the guide. Oh, so testimony from the guide was different. We can't do anything with that. Earlier tonight, the blank, blank, in the blank. Maybe argued? We started with an argument. The old timer argued in the balcony, something balcony. Oops. In the blank blank with the punk. Was he arguing with the punk? Who surprisingly had a. Wait. Did the punk have the gun? Okay, so I'm close up here. And eventually the punk fell. From the. Where were they? Amongst the chaos, someone stole. Stole is not an option yet. Well, that doesn't. Um. Okay, so that's right. National history. But balcony's not an option. Led by the blank's museum staff included the loyal. Okay, so led by the curator. The museum staff included the loyal guard and the knowledgeable guide. The suspects and witnesses included the eccentric podcaster, bitter old timer, distinguished critic, the anxious student, the jolly tourist, and the reserved artist. Okay, so that's not right, but I bet you're next. Please call me the detective. I'm the investigator on this case. How are you holding up with all the commotion? Just tippy topper. Investicopper. Little worried. I'm getting behind on this itinerary, but I'll survive. Nice long trip, like I always wanted to, just wasn't in the dealer's deck until recent. Where's my cat? Meow. Oh, sure. Call me a regular tourist because I know you gotta plan every stop. You know what they be saying, detective. I think we should get to the topic at hand, don't you? Righty-o, don't hold back. Hit me with your best shot. Who are you? Oh, you really are good at this, huh? You always know what to ask. Of course. Dear me, does their mother have her hopes full with them? She practically assisted me too. You said you're traveling. Is it difficult to be away from them? Stings the soul, that's for sure. He doesn't care. But I try to send a postcard every couple days, and I've collected far too many souvenirs for him. When our pop would go out on business trips, he'd always bring little baubles back with him, so you know I gotta keep the tradition alive. I'm sure the kids love that too. Let's move on with something else for now. Radio, don't hold back. I'll do some odd jobs when I get back from this big old vacation, but past that, no more grind for me. That's a fortunate position to find yourself in. How did you manage that? That's a tough one, detective. Long story short, my pops was in some particular business at least until he died. I was a teenager then, and my brother was even younger, so fending for ourselves wasn't much an option. Luckily, pop work buddies took us in. When I got a bit older, I took over the operation he left behind. A decade later, we landed in a pretty profitable contract. The rest is history. Muddy heavens, no. In fact, that's what kept my eye on the truffle. I didn't want him to get involved. That's admirable. Why don't we talk about something else now? Rightio, don't hold back. No manner of details will be enough to distract from the fact that you refuse to answer the question, or did you truly think I wouldn't realize? Look, Whiskers, simply put, some of the crowds weren't the most savory, but folks with deep pockets. Pops put us up to some circumstances. They went off and oinked. It forced me into decisions I don't like having made. All that's important to know now is, well, I got more curls in my tail these days. Wouldn't make those choices again if I had to. I won't press the issue now, but I hope you understand that if I have a reason to suspect its relevance, I won't have much choice. Oh, I get it. Don't sound so stern, detective. You think I'm running from something or into another? Rest assured, the worst of it's already come with me everywhere. I understand. Let's change topics then. Radio! Don't hold back. What about it was she interested in? I don't know, but she was mighty excited. I let her look it over because I don't see much harm. I took my eyes off it. Then the argument upstairs started becoming an issue, but she didn't seem shady or nothing. That's when things really started to kick off. Is that so? Let's discuss it further then. Radio, don't hold back. whole lot if you ask me. Well, I guess you're asking me, aren't ya? But much of it wasn't privy to. One shot a gun instinctually. I stepped in front of the podcaster, but luckily, I don't think anyone actually got hit. That's what I heard, some glass smash in the other room, and the museum's alarm started blaring. I didn't think that sort of thing could rile me up, but in that moment, I must have been sweating something fierce, like someone splashed my back with a pail of water. Tried to tell the gal to save her own fur, but I don't know. Maybe she was more invested than she let on, and I wasn't going to carry her out. When I got to the foyer, the artist was already arguing with the curator about letting us out. I guess the alarm put everything in total lockdown. I don't blame a single feather on them. They didn't know what was what. They just told us to stand by and wait for the police. Not my favorite gang to deal with, but I sat tight. And that's about all she wrote. Understood, but I think I have more questions. Radio, don't hold back. Additional details. Let's dance about your camera. It's been trusted companion for ages. Been through some bumps and bruises, but nothing. He needs to show me the pictures he has. Had a hearty crash today, didn't we, buddy? I told you I let the podcaster look it over, right? When everything started to go sideways, the gunshot probably spooked her and she dropped it. So it's fine as long as I didn't take any photos. There isn't any film in here. Hmm. No, no more. Okay, let's. So that testimony would have contradicted the podcaster, right? No? Okay. Um, so this is the one I haven't gotten something on. I don't know. It's gotta be this one, right? Okay, this is antiquities. We don't know the punk's motive. Old timer argued in the it's the national history, right? National history exhibit with the punk. Was it not that? Aha! They were in the fine art exhibits. Okay, earlier tonight, the old timer argued in the fine art exhibit with the punk, who surprisingly had a gun. They argued in the exhibit, and eventually the punk fell from the national history exhibit. Okay, I don't think it was art. I don't think it's supposed to be argued. Amidst the chaos, someone blank. Okay, that's the national history case. Do I have stole yet? No. Okay, let's go back to the beginning. This is the fine art exhibit. I go here, right? To get back to the front. Oh, there's blood there. Okay, I haven't been in here yet. I need to be in here. This is where the blood trail begins. And with enough force, that would explain the crooked painting. Whatever happened is clear the conflict continued onward, but I'll have to keep investigating to learn more. Oh, so they must have gone through this door right here. Ow. Okay, those are ow. Quit biting my foot. This is clear important. Okay, so what should I investigate? Exhibit Maui statue circa whatever. Another victim in this old culmination of crimes, unfortunately. This is clearly important to our case. The crime scene. The blood trail leads here. Other edge of the balcony. Oh, now we have balcony. Okay. Oh, okay. You want to come up here, babies? Hey, hello? Where's my kitty? Okay. It's not about the water, so don't even ask. Okay. Let's look here. I didn't have anything left in here, right? That I needed to check off. Yeah, all of those look good. We're working on you. Oh, I have balcony now. Hey, baby, come here. Oh, you can chill with me. Yeah, cuddle. You're tickling me. Ow. No, remember, if you bite me, I'll put you on the ground. Okay, they argued. Okay, this needs to change to balcony. Where are you going? Okay. Argued. No ma'ams. Comebacks. They argued in the exhibit and eventually the punk fell from the National History balcony. Um, they argued in the Don't bite me. Ow. What did they argue in? What are they arguing in? Okay, who have I mixed up down here? Oh, the Jolly Taurus. Is it the Taurus who's jolly?
Aha, got that part right. So I just need to fix this and this. I mixed the chaos. Someone, let's say, shot. No. It's probably broke or stole. They argued in the exhibit. It's probably fought, maybe? Destroyed. Oh, someone destroyed the glass case. Maybe. Someone destroyed the glass case from the. I don't know, because I think national history was right. Stone painting. Gemstone exhibit? Oh. So it is national history. So there's something missing there. They blanked in the exhibit. Okay. And then he fell. Hmm. There wasn't a way down over here, right? I mean, stairs. Over here? Let's go back and interview some people with our newfound knowledge. I have several things to discuss with you if we could. Congratulations, detective. I have the utmost faith in your sleuthing skills, so please. And then there were 9. It's getting late, don't you think? And Justin doesn't sleep. I'm afraid it takes time to shine the light on the truth. Take as much time as you need. And remember the very fate of this music. See, he's trying to rush us through so fast. That's what he was doing. He was trying to rush the investigation. I would expect nothing less. But it might reveal some important evidence, so I'm going to entertain the prospect for now. Fine, I suppose this is minor concern at the moment. I agree. Let's discuss more important concerns then. I would expect nothing less. Yes, yes. It's about the admission that paid by the victim earlier tonight. He was charged for 2 entrants. Was he accompanied by anyone? No, that's when I started to suspect he was up to no good, and I was correct, of course. And why would he have paid for two? I hope this wasn't malicious on your part. When I told him there was a charge for admittance, he said he would pay for himself and whoever comes in next. I think we need to check some people's receipts here. But we can never be so sure. By chance, do you remember who came in next? That nervous one with the backpack, the student. About the critic. He said you had requested an article be written. Could you tell me more about that? Detective, I'm afraid I have no idea what you're talking about. How do you not know anything? You described her as stunned until eventually your efforts to rouse her were successful. She told you to call the authorities. She described the situation differently, that you failed to calm her and left her there unmoving in order to call the police. I'll do what I must. It took a long time to amass such a wondrous collection, so I'd like to keep it. Okay, and it recognizes registered users, so if I were to rearrange the exhibits, I wouldn't have to worry about disabling the entire system. Of course, the rest of the staff is also registered. Conservators, appraisers, or technicians get temporarily registered as needed too. The guard mentioned a discretionary response to the system. Do you know anything about that? Vaguely. For instance, putting the doors on lockdown in an early stage response, whereas that atrocious sound is much later. I know that much. Someone stole an exhibit, a noisy alarm would alert everyone, warning the thief that their cover had been blown. Of course, if the thief broke into an exhibit to steal it as well, they've already relinquished the advantage of discretion. In that case, the alarm siren acts more like a warning system to other guests. I'm starting to see this intelligence you mentioned. Hmm. Okay. Sit for the curator for now. Why? Stole. And this is back to gemstone. Okay, so they blank in the exhibit. Fought. We got fought now. In the back to balcony. Oh, it was the courtyard. They fought in the courtyard, apparently. I know I was onto something. I've got the basic details of the case all sorted out and met every suspect. Now it's time to really get to work. Now we got a new one. As they blank the blank, the blank into a blank, causing the blank to be blank. When it blank, the blank below, and then blank the blank. Shot the thing. Soon after the blank, the blank from the blank into a blank. That might be talking about the shrub. The shell and the shrub. In the courtyard. Almost like it was the guards. Shrub. Oops. Shrub. 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 Okay. As soon after the blank, the blank from the blank. The I think it was the guard. The guard hid the case That's probably as they fought. The blank shot the blank into the blank, causing the blank to be. Okay. I don't know. Let's go talk to everybody again. You got the green, go ahead. About the artist. Do you recall having encountered him earlier, perhaps in the courtyard? I nearly tripped over my own two paws, or so I thought, but now you mention it, yeah. Must have been him. Guess my memory was a bit hazy after the whole debacle. You two are suspicious. Not enough to steal the jewel, of course, but she did steal the victim's belongings. Oh no, you didn't say. I should have been more strict with her. I was just so concerned with calling the police and getting things under control. While your motives were understandable, this could have been avoided with a bit more diligence. Yeah, sounds familiar. I'm thankful for setting things right. I'm working on it. At least let's run through a few more questions, shall we? About today's events. About the guide. You mentioned in your testimony that you discovered her in the antiquities exhibit, stunned from the sound of the gunshot. As such, you know about her condition. Do you think it's possible she could have been unaware of your presence in that moment? Oh, I hadn't really considered that, but I bet you're right. I can't reiterate enough how much I really did try to help, but the curators always had a lighter touch. Hello, Sunflower. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, let's update everything. Or let's read everything. Cause for alarm. This is nothing new yet. Caught on film. Seems the thief took destructive measures to steal the jewel, or did they? Is there a way it could access the security system's data? Maybe not, but it's worth looking into. The curator's primary and only concern was identifying the culprit behind the attempted heist of the incredibly valuable diamond from the museum's natural history exhibit. The murdered guest. Initial investigations have presented quite the complex crime scene. Discarded or perhaps hidden within the courtyard shrubbery was the casing of a bullet. They weren't the most forthcoming, so I should assume there's plenty of details. Knocked over stanchions. Victim had a receipt for paying the museum's admission for themselves and whoever comes in next, which was the student. I wonder what he has to say about that. The museum doesn't employ more than 2 people, the guard and the guide, not including the curator, of course. The snooty and self-indulgent, the critic and the old-timer are quite the duo. It seems they're in attendance together. I've taken all my initial findings and built profiles, which is worth celebrating, but that's just the beginning of solving this strange museum mystery. Upon taking this case, arriving at the museum, I was greeted by the curator, although I shouldn't forget they're just as much a suspect as anyone else. I think they're the most suspicious. An interesting pair of eccentric guests. The podcaster and the tourist may not be entirely what they seem. Not a pair of socialites. The artist and the student each gave quite odd yet different first impressions. Okay. I have a new word. Tricked. Okay, and then somebody's got something going on here. The curator discovered the guide. Oh. Oh, the guard. The guard did it, right? There's no way she would have known the guard tried to help her. As far as I can tell, this was just an honest mistake, but worth keeping the record straight. I bet she doesn't remember. Yeah, it was right. Oh, maybe it's the evidence? Just stumbled into a bit of luck, but why lie about that? Maybe through all the excitement he misremembered. Maybe he doesn't remember getting in for free because the curator made him pay anyways. Okay, everybody else is good for now. So let's start here. I think I already came from here, but I need to make sure everything's been investigated. Anything new from this guy? Oh, the broken case. I have more information about the museum security system now, so probably should take a second. I've been assuming the thief should use the statue to break open the case before the witnesses believe what would trigger the alarm. There's no denying they heard the glass shatter and the alarm blaring, but that doesn't mean it was intentional. When the statue was shot and fell, if it landed into a display below, the gemstone would have been ripe for the taking unless it was already gone. According to the curator's knowledge on the security system, that leaves us with two possibilities. One, the thief opened the case, which locked the museum doors, and the alarm went off later. Yeah. Unfortunately, there's no way to know which was true right now. Maybe the guard will have further insight on my theory. I think this is supposed to be fought. The punk shot the gun into a sculpture or a statue. Causing the statue to be destroyed. Huh. Maybe it is supposed to be sculpture. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. We got more for you. Hey there, detective. What's it like detectiving? I have some questions for you, and please keep all this between us. Additional details. The thing was like so nice. Wish I could afford one, but they're so vogue. Neither of you mentioned dropping the camera, no. Oops, silly me. Well, remember the gunshot, right? Blammo and all that? That didn't bother me at all, I guess. But then with the glass shattering, the alarm went off, and that's what got me. The noise made me jump and poop. When I hit the floor, there's a big flash, so it probably took some sort of photo. Like, whatever you need, detective. Okay, that's it for you. Um, Check it out for yourself. You can take my camera as evidence as long as I get it back. It's empty, you'll see, but full of sentimental value. I'll make a note and return it once the case is closed, unless, of course, I discover something incriminating. That should tell you how much I trust you to do the right thing. I appreciate your cooperation. Now I could get your input on some other topics. Radio, don't hold back. There's no other topics, actually. Okay, let's look at his camera. Okay, I don't know what I can do with that right now. Is camera my new word? Dropped. They dropped the camera. Floor. Dropped the camera on the floor. Tourist looked on as the podcaster accidentally dropped his camera. Which took a picture when it hit the grounds. I bet it took a picture and we just can't figure it out yet. Or floor, sorry. No, where's floor when it blank the floor? See if I'm close at all. No. No, it's gonna be red no matter what. No, that's not right. The student then, or the student had retreated. Where's retreated? Retreated. Student have retreated into the foyer. But the curator was already. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. It didn't let me do anything to this, though. Nothing new for you. Okay, let's keep going this way and talk to the student again, I guess. And we'll go because we got to go back to the guard too. Every time you say that, I get a little less confident you're telling the truth. That's what I was thinking. Is this a test? I've never been good at tests. Oh, yeah, because he complained. Yeah, he complained about the date not showing up. Was the punk his date and he didn't know? I do know who paid my admission, the punk. He was my friend, my best friend. So please, could you tell me what happened? He and another visitor got into an argument. Ultimately, he fell from the balcony in the natural history exhibit. It seems to have been fatal. You can ask a couple more questions if you really need to, but after that, I'd like a few minutes to myself. Of course, in the meantime, I'll continue to investigate the details of the brawl. It goes without saying, perhaps, but I'm sorry for your loss. We put it all together yet? Working on it, hoping you might be able to answer a few more questions about today's events. The guard. I don't believe you were aware in the moment, but I figured I should tell you. He did try to help while you were in the stunned state. Unfortunately, he didn't know how to help, but he called for the curator to come and take care of you. He wished he could have done more, he said. Oh, the guard has always been the nicest. If you get a chance, tell him I appreciate it. I'll bring him an extra croissant tomorrow. I'm sure he'll enjoy that. I've got some more details to go over if you don't mind. Sure thing, detective. About the curator, according to your testimony, they helped you up to the point. Then prioritized calling the police. Unfortunately, they didn't corroborate that. Are you giving me a chance to revise my statement? Oh, they did help me recover, but more than I let on before, it was my idea to call the authorities. The curator theorized that you were attempting to protect their reputation. Is that the case? I suppose it was. I know they come across as a bit prickly, detective, but they do mean well. That does seem a bit of a trend, but there are other topics we also got to get to. Okay, let's go to art, fine arts. We did we have more to talk about with the artist is in this room. Nothing more to talk about with the artist, which could be a bad sign. Could mean the artist is the one. Today's events, I'll give you this one for free. Good. Were you able to aware that the were you aware that the discussion you shared earlier was taken quite differently by her? could you mean, Detective? Perhaps one person's forum is another's arena, especially when such a debate is uninvited. Have you considered that? I can assure you that it was not my intention to debate her. Surely she's been through more treacherous challenges than I could provide. I'm not in a position to make claims one way or another, but I found the disparity in your testimonies important enough to clarify and worth noting. If your honest response to criticism is defensive, then I suggest you reflect on why that is. How astute and utterly absurd a sentiment. That's my job. Now I have more inquiries to make before I continue my investigation. Okay. Let's work on this. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Besides that, I confronted the tourists, assuming they would confess to at least obscuring the truth, but they didn't. As show of good faith, they submitted their camera. I don't know, because every time I look at it, nothing happens. You have a lot to tell me. I'm sure you don't. Let's get started.
This ain't making me younger, detective.
Do you know if the curator requests the critic come write it today?
No, absolutely not. I'm sure he sorry they wouldn't ever ask the critic to do that again. The curator alluded to.
Previous article. Sorry, wrong person. What happened with that?
Oh, keep the story short since it isn't mine to tell, but between you and I, it wasn't pretty. It was harsh, but perfectly fair. I've heard murmurs it put the museum in a rough spot, but that wasn't our concern.
Despite tonight's commotion, the museum seems fine to me. Let's move on for now. Think cash the side up?
How much longer is this gonna take?
But you're supposed to tell me more, because you were in a fight with the punk. Okay, let's go talk to the guard. Hey, detective, what can I do for you? Let's start a few questions if you wouldn't mind. Standing for an inquiry about the alarm. Looked back over the crime scene with special attention to the pedestal of stolen gemstone, and I have a theory I'd like to run by you. Lay it on me. I believe that when the display case was broken, the gemstone was already missing from everything you know about the security system. Would that be possible? I suppose it could be, detective. That'd be quite a twist. The issue I'm having with my theory is how to actually prove it without more clearly defined timing. It's impossible to know for sure. Since it's private business and all that, I was hoping it wouldn't come to that, but if that's what it takes, I'll give it a shot. But then I think I might have a few more things to discuss with you before I go. Absolutely. No, that's it. Okay, to the curator. Several things to discuss, curator. About the back room. The guard mentioned it. So while we were discussing security systems, I believe access would help crack the case.
Preposterous.
Everything that happened tonight took place within the public space. No one has access to the maintenance room tonight, sure, but what if all of this was set in motion prior? What would you say then? As far as I know, you can prove that Punk came in to drum up trouble and some other opportunists saw fit to seize their chance. So, what would I say to that, you ask? I would still say no. I hope you understand that if I find another means of access, I will have to defy your wishes. And if I find something important here, you could be held liable for obstruction. Then so be it. Now move along. I'm telling you, he did it. It's the rooster. The rooster did it. The rooster did it. Okay, the old timer said something different. He might have been hoping to write an article about the museum, but that's two testimonies against his claim. But why lie about that at all? Perhaps I should pay him another visit and ask. We'll go find him again. This. Okay. You're good. 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 Everybody's good. Okay. And there's still nothing with this. Nothing with this that I can look at. This doesn't give me anything either. Okay, why? This is why. Okay. As they fought, the punk shot the gun into a sculpture, causing the sculpture to be destroyed. Is it a sculpture or a statue? I don't think I have that stuff. Okay, let me go find the curator and ask him some questionable questions. So, I'm confused. Why is... Oh, because that's where it started. Okay. You've got nothing new. You've got new stuff, though. Quit worrying about my attire, Mr. Gator. I'll give you this one for free, Detective. The article. Okay. But I guess you would understand standing on the outside. The outside. On the outside, always looking in. Desperately trying to look in. You're trying to change topic. Did the curator ask you to write the article or not? No, they didn't. They didn't have to. I received an anonymous tip, and I decided to be generous. Fine, it's my turn to change the topic then. You must. Don't let me stop you. Was that all my stuff? Oh. Okay, X. Okay, let me go back through these. The artist I think, is fine. He was counting the bones of the various skeletons from the balcony, but he was in the same exhibit. He was in the same exhibit. Right? Maybe he's not so innocent. Afterwards, he went to the courtyard balcony, became mesmerized watching the colorful swinging pendulum. Oh, because he went to the courtyard. Okay, when an argument started in the fine art gallery, he decided to head downstairs away from the noise. Now, in the courtyard's lower level, a gunshot was heard, sending the guard barreling through the room towards the fight upstairs. He then continued into the empty foyer in an attempt to leave the now dangerous premises, but found the front door was already on lockdown. Moments later, the tourist rushed in, but he informed him that the door was already on lockdown, leaving them stuck inside. With the alarm blaring, the museum on lockdown, the curator returned to the foyer to call the authorities. So that sounds pretty accurate. Arrived at the museum, intending to leisurely peruse the exhibits, as the old timers' guests in attendance began challenging the guide on their knowledge of the various pieces within the sculpture's exhibit. Overhearing the old timer in a heated disagreement upstairs, he left the guide to go investigate and likely defuse the situation. When he arrived at the top of the stairs into the fine art gallery, he heard the sound of someone being slammed against a wall. He hurriedly continued towards the courtyard balcony when a gun was fired with a cacophonous bang. I need to add that to my personal dictionary. Finally, on the scene, it seemed the struggle had just concluded. He rushed to the side of the old timer to make sure they were okay. He took the old timer back into the fine art gallery and sit them down and recover. Before getting their story straight. Prior to the incident, they were welcoming guests in the museum alongside the guard. When the argument began upstairs, they told the guard not to make a scene and let it handle itself. Although, when it escalated far enough that a gun was fired, they ran from the foyer. The curator went to check on the guide in the sculpture exhibit. The guide wasn't there, but the guard had found her in antiquities, stunned and unmoving, and called for the curator to come quick. Their efforts to get the guide to come to weren't working, but when the alarm sounded, the guide snapped to and told them to call the authorities immediately. The curator rushed back into the foyer, where the tourists and the artists insisted they release the museum's lockdown without knowing who was the real culprit. The curator refused to let anyone leave and called the authorities to come sort it out. The guard. Prior to the incident, they were welcoming guests into the museum. He stormed off into He arrived to the exhibit just after the podcaster who had already looked over the victim and declared them deceased. With no clear danger still present, he moved back into the foyer to call the authorities, but found the curator had already done so. Maybe this is supposed to be the pump. And then pushed. Hmm. Okay, let me see. Okay, let's go here.
Live.
What are you doing?
Saying alive.
I think it's on this side.
What are you playing?
Feline forensics. I'm a kitty detective.
Got like a-
Oh, there it is! Finally! Oh, how do I get back to that? Right here. Kaboom! Kaboom! Quick, close my door! You're too loud. Look, now you woke her up. She was nice. No, she hadn't been moving with my voice this whole time. Now she's trying to jump off. Do not jump off that. You're not old enough. Do not jump off. Come here. Go. Oh, something else. That's what it sounds like. Oh, of course. I knew there was something else here. Can you give me a teeny bit more wine? There isn't something here. Sometimes that can be just as important. If I had to bet, this is probably another case of someone sticky paws. Okay, let's try questioning the Taurus now. Taurus is through here. What? Oh, he is through here, but he's down there. I already looked at that. Ooh, the Mona Horsa. The Mare Lisa. That was close. I want a teeny bit. Teeny tiny bit. That's good.
Naive.
Sure. Where's my kitty?
Um,
Stop! Stop doing that! No, not that one. Oh, I guess I'm going for that one. Okay, but I'm trying to go this way. Where my kitten? Luna. Luna, Sailor Moon. It's 8 o'clock. I would not be. I don't want to keep playing this game. It's fun though. How do I save and exit? Private Eye, he's watching you. I feel like I'm almost done. Oh no, there's nothing else to ask him right now. Oops, that was the wrong one. Okay, I am confused. Okay, okay, we can save. Oh, and there's a map. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and save and end this episode here. We'll be finishing this next week. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. Peace out, guys. I love you all dearly.